Hey, welcome back to Wise Kracks. I'm back. Randy's back. Bill's back. But Bill's got a little throat. You got a throat thing going on, Bill. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm in Hilton Head now. Kind of.
You screamed during the Masters, didn't you? You were screaming
Well,
and you
I
lost
wasn't
your
really
voice?
screaming, but
No?
I'm a little under the weather, and very rare. I very rarely ever get sick. Thank God, because I'm a vitamin nut, and always, and plus getting your 8 hours. There's a line in The Sopranos. Paulie Walnut said everyone needs to get their 7 hours, my friend, something like that. But it's 7 hours. But yeah, so
Hey, you'll
now
be
I'm
happy to know
throat wise.
I just started binge watching Sopranos again. We just started like 3 days ago.
Yeah, no, it's the greatest. You watch it over and over again, and like once a year, once every 2 years. It's fantastic. So I am in Hilton Head. Was in Augusta last week, and what a great tournament! Look at that day four, how cool it was, and
And what a
um,
tournament.
wasn't it cool? And I got you guys both hats. I sent them all back to Vegas. So they
Love it.
just do it right. They do it right over there too. They have sections of so many people helping you getting the shirts at the gift shop and getting all the shirts and putting them in bags. They give you the bags, the empty bags. You can carry them around, and then you take them to the outside, and they'll ship them all home for you. It's and by the way,
Wow.
very reasonable here at the I'm right across from the clubhouse, by the way, right outside the door here between 18 and the clubhouse. And you look at the shirt prices here, they're like 50% more than the Masters. The Masters are like $80, $30 for a golf hat. Here the golf hats are $39. The shirts are 110. Like it's just different there. Then they have the pimento cheese sandwiches, the egg salad for $1.50 in Augusta, and the Georgia peach ice cream sandwich for $3. And it's just so different
Wait, wait.
over here.
What day
What
were
do you,
you
what do you
there?
got? I was
I
there. I
I
left
got my
after
buddy
my recent
Brandon.
show.
Got my buddy Brandon here, who runs the Durango Sportsbook, and
Hey,
we're
Brandon.
doing our podcast. We're not live, but we are doing a podcast right now. Yeah, but this guy Bill right here, Krackomberger, we got to get him back where you can take bet. You won't take his action. You guys
No,
don't
it's
want his
not
action.
Brandon. It's not Brandon's fault though. Yeah,
He says it's not
it
your
goes.
fault. He knows that, but I
Yeah,
think he gets you back in. Maybe.
I'm allowed.
All right, all right. We're
I'm
gonna
allowed to
talk.
bet.
We'll talk.
I'm a, he can't do anything. He can't
No.
do anything. Trust me. It
I
goes.
think he could.
It's way above his pay grade. It goes to the
Really?
Red Rock. It goes to Red Rock. His boss. That's it. Red Rock. They don't allow people that win consistently on to play on their
Right.
app. So Brandon's a nice kid. I'm sure I might be allowed to play at the counter, but they don't like winners over there. So, but I listen. We talk good and bad
Because
about
I
places.
never have a problem.
Yeah, really, no kidding, no kidding. I love the Red Rock. I love the Durango. Beautiful casinos,
Yeah.
great restaurants. They give you a good gamble too. There's some good video poker, but
Yeah.
they just don't like guys that consistently beat the line, and which means you're going to win at playing sports. Randy, are you allowed to bet at stations?
I can bet at the counter, but I can't bet on my own name on the app, of course, and that was a long time ago. But yeah, I can bet at the counter, different places. They said one bet a day, but now I can bet multiple bets. I don't think it matters now since they've gotten a lot bigger. So I'm pretty good at stations. Yeah, and like you said, they give you a pretty fair gamble over the years. I found some pretty good stuff at their casinos, and they've been good to me.
Good progressive.
Bill, I
Good,
didn't mean to.
yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off when you were still talking about the Masters when Brandon came up.
Oh,
But I have to
yeah.
tell you, on Sunday, we Vanessa and I went to a birthday party, and it was at Tao Beach, like the day club over at Tao at Venetian. And so we're in this, fancy cabana, whatever. There's tons of girls, hot girls wearing bikinis. There's probably 10 girls just in our little cabana, all smoking hot, wearing bikinis. And if there was 15 guys, I kid you not, 13 of the 15 guys were glued to the TV watching the Masters. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. All these guys surrounded by all these girls, and they were all focused on the Masters, screaming and cheering. the playoff. It was pretty exciting. I've talked a lot of crap about basketball and golf over the years, and I gotta say, I kind of got into Final Four this last that whole tournament, and watching golf was kind of I'll admit it was exciting.
Were they
Yeah.
swearing? Were they swearing like we were about Shane
Yes.
Lowry?
Yes.
Well,
Talk
what
about an ultimate choke from him
Yeah,
all
we
the way
had a-
from last two holes
Yeah.
in the first round to
we
the
we
last
had
round.
we had a bet Shane Lowry to finish top 20 in the Masters, and he was right up there, like fifth or sixth on day going to the day 4. He had the worst round of the day. He shot like a +8 and totally blew up. And it really upset us because, it's a big swing. We're taking back nice money on that. And
Right.
I pressed it too. I had a top 5 and a top 10 on him. So I was
What
looking,
were his odds?
I was looking
What were
real
his
good on
odds?
all that.
Yeah.
What
and
was the
Shane
line on him?
Randy, what'd you get on top 5 and 10? What'd you get on that?
I'll look again, but I had a lot of nice pluses on that, plus the other price on the top 20.
Yeah, no, it was really embarrassing. Lowry, I had +110, I think, top 20. And it was not embarrassing. Listen, I actually won for the Masters, and I just gave Randy my 2 top ones. I wound up going 3 and 2, and of course he got the 2 losers. And then he gave me, Randy, you gave me a what's that ice thing called when it's a college before?
Frozen 4.
Yeah, you gave us
So
a
the
winner
final
there.
4 is the Frozen 4. So that was a little in the background, of course, with Masters going on that weekend, but that's a great tournament. And like I said on the podcast, I said the championship game will be Denver against Western Michigan, and it played out like a championship game, 3-2 overtime game. Western Michigan pulled it off, and then I released Western Michigan in the championship game as well. So it was a nice Frozen 4, a nice overall tournament for me. Made up for some of that golf, and some of my NASCAR was a little off last week too.
Yeah, Randy sends me some NASCAR every week. That's been pretty decent. But just finishing up with the Masters stuff. What an experience, guys. I got out there Thursday afternoon after my Beeson show. I flew right out to Augusta, and then I went to got in like Thursday night, went to the course all day Friday. My buddy gave me a pass, and I was supposed to pay $500 for half of a day. And he just gave me a badge and said, just stay out there the whole day. So that people understand, like I have one of those little scooters, and which is you need in Augusta because of those ridiculous hills. But it just was so beautiful. The day was perfect. There was no rain. It was supposed to be rain early in the morning. It didn't rain. I was out there the whole day. Thank God the cart ran out of juice just in time for me to get back to the clubhouse and charge it back up. And I actually made it out of there okay, but it was just a special day. I really loved this year more than any other year, Friday and Saturday. And then coming down here, I love this tournament, though. This is a special tournament here. You're allowed to bring your phones on the course, and Hilton Head now that it's called the Heritage Golf Tournament. This is 23 years in a row. I only missed the one during the COVID year. 23 years in a row. My buddy's got a place down here on 18 that's ridiculous. I'm way in the back of the place, but it's literally stupid how nice it is, overlooking the course.
Wait. You just said you're way in the back of the place. How big is this place? It's
pretty
one
big,
of those places.
Pretty big, yeah. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big place. It's majestical too. I was gonna originally do this outside, but I didn't because up top, upstairs, there's an outside area you can actually go overlook the 18th hole. But I just decided not to. It was a little bit windy, not too bad though. But I'll have some shots from the golf course here the next couple of days on my socials. And this tournament has tripled, literally. I think I read it quadrupled in 20 years, but it tripled just in the last like 5-6 years. Prize money, especially since Liv started. All the big guns come out here this week, right after the Masters. Scheffler, McIlroy came out last year. He didn't come out this year, but all the big good players. I see Morikawa out there hitting the ball around. Like there's a lot of good top players here for this. It's like $4 million prize, like almost the same purse as the Masters. So really cool. over here. But I was just saying the difference in pricing as far as the ticket itself, nothing face value. We get them for pretty much face value, but nothing like the Masters. And you know what? Casey Kerr called me up. He said, Bill, you know who won the Masters? I said, yeah, of course. I watched the end. I didn't go to day 4. I could have too, but I didn't go to day 4. I said, yeah, no, I watched it right from there. It was great. He goes, no. Rory wasn't the only winner. The real winner is the game of golf. People the next day wanted to go out and play golf, go play 18, hit the ball, go to the driving range, go to the pitch and putt. I mean, the game of golf was the real winner. The biggest crowd, the biggest TV, the Masters on TV had 7 since Tiger, I think it was. It was
ratings were up on that one.
Yeah, no, it was really good. And let me just be blunt. The books did not fare well on the everyone live was betting this live. You understand? I talked to one of the directors of one of the biggest sports books that came to this country 7 years ago. They got pelted with all Rory McIlroy money live. They needed Rose to win. They needed Rose to win this tournament. And when it went to sudden death, it just sports books can lose sometimes. It's very, very rare. Trust me. They didn't give back the money they won from that Duke game when Duke lost to Houston. But they lost on this event, big TV event, big betting event. You know how many times I wanted to press live bet. You're so much in the moment. You just have to realize, A, live wagering is a ridiculous hold for the sports books, unless you're betting yes and no. 2, you don't want to get caught up in the moment because not only the big hold, you look at sometimes they're all betting McIlroy. So there's no value to bet McIlroy live. The only value is to bet yes, no on some of the other golfers. So that I noticed. Randy, you even yourself got involved a little bit, right?
Yeah, him going to a playoff actually cost me some money because I didn't think he would hold up against Rose. And hats off to him for making a birdie there. Rose didn't do really anything wrong to lose the tournament. He made a par, could have made a birdie as well. That putt just barely missed. But I thought getting that kind of price with Rose after McIlroy choked that putt on 18 there, I thought Rose had some value there, and it didn't work out. Of course, cost me a little bit more money in tournament on golf. So
yeah. More importantly than McIlroy's win is I'd like to put him on camera, but I'm not. We have our own private chef here. My buddy hires a chef here for the week. He makes us breakfast, lunch, dinner, any kind of snacks, any kind. I just asked him for. He somehow he got me lemon and hot water with lemon. He's like, let me get you some hot water with lemon for your show. It's so cool, and he's a great guy. 23 years in a row down here cooking for us. Fantastic, and a great cook. Oh my God, what a great cook too. So my buddy, and I'm friends with him now. He's down here. But
so he's not at that house all the time. Only he just comes in for the Masters.
Believe it or not, my buddy rents him another place. He rents him a 1-bedroom condo where actually he's a 2-bedroom condo. He's renting them, and he just comes over in the morning, afternoon, lunch, meals, goes shopping. Does it? I mean, it really is. It really is. What a way to live. What a way to live.
I could use my old bartending skills and make you a hot toddy, Bill. But I know you don't like brandy. You got to put a little brandy. And,
my grandmother.
That would clear you up pretty good.
Yeah. Something else down here. The Southern hospitality. I noticed it really in Georgia. People were so nice. They were so friendly. I noticed it again. I was here a couple weeks ago down in Biloxi. I say here, anywhere in the South, but just so cool. Yeah. How about driving from I'm going to call it town, driving in from town, 15 minutes from here. You drive in and there's these tree-lined streets with the moss-covered roads, the moss hanging. It's so cool down here. It's just a different way of living. And it's just a little bit slower, a little more calmer. And then you have this beautiful heritage golf tournament here. It's just the things as you get older, you appreciate things a little bit more, I think, So I appreciate it. I'm very fortunate to be able to be down here and every year I could just come to this beautiful place I'm at and for basically nothing. I mean, just the airline ticket. Really, I don't pay for anything. I do give the
Are
guy
you
a
on
couple hundred.
Spirit down there, the big yellow seat, or
No,
how do you get there?
no, no. On the way down here, I flew into Charleston. My buddy, one of the kids that I work with, lives in Charleston, and I flew nonstop for Breeze there. And on the way back, he's coming down here Friday and staying for one night, taking me back to Charleston, a couple hours away, and drive and fly. I'm flying out Southwest on the way back, which I love their policy. As long as this plane's not oversold, you can get the middle seat, which is for free. That's great for me. You just pay for it and you get refunded the money. It's a great policy. But he took me to a place, by the way. I went to a breakfast place in Charleston called Bodega. And I'm like, Bodega? And it was Mount Pleasant, right outside of Charleston. And this little place, one of the best breakfasts I've ever had in my life. It was just like back home. I say back home. I'll always consider the East Coast back home. It's like a bodega in New York. You go in, you order your sandwich, like a runny egg, bacon perfectly cooked on a Kaiser roll. Oh man, I love the place. So that's a shout out to them. That they were great. Hey Randy, I sent you a slot influencers video. Did you catch that yet or no? Email?
I've been traveling, so yeah,
Okay.
I should probably check it out. I
Well,
apologize. I
no,
thought
I sent it
I'm
to
at a
you.
gambling destination right now that you and John have
Oh,
never been to. So
where are you at? You want to tell us?
I'm in beautiful Jackpot, Nevada, which is
Where's
farthest
that?
north. It's on the Idaho border, about
Okay.
7 hours straight north of Vegas.
How do you get there? Do you drive there?
Yeah, I drove from Colorado to here 2 days ago. It's about an 11-hour drive. And
11 hours.
mostly interstate, so it's not too bad. Plus you
It
go
sounds
through
like it would be a horse and carriage kind of destination.
Yeah. So
There's
you go through another gambling town called Wendover, which is right on the Utah border. So I checked a couple casinos there and then came up here to Jackpot, and they gave me a really nice offer.
there's some stealing going on. You can guarantee it. Something's happening. He's not allowed to tell us. Wait, Randy, you're in. Do they have? Is that where they have the good pick 'em poker?
They did. Unfortunately, that machine got old. It was an old coin dropper, and the older casino that they had here, the Barton's 93, they removed those old Bally machines. Unfortunately, I think that's the last of the pick'em poker that I know of. Maybe somebody will chime in on the YouTube and tell us if they have any pick'em poker they know of. But
that was my favorite game. My favorite game. Now there's a different version of pick'em poker now that pays a lot less than the 99.95 with perfect strategy.
They had $5 one too. They had $1 and
oh God. I mean, playing $5 pick'em poker in Jackpot, Nevada, they must just give you the town. Come on in, have everything you want. $5 game. Oh, that was my favorite game. When that came out in Mohegan Sun, oh my God. Remember when they were giving you points at Mohegan Sun, momentum dollars? I think you can go get a Rolex, not joke, a real Rolex in the Rolex store based on your points of playing a 99.95, let's just call it a 100% game. Am I right?
Yeah, our gambling mutual friend, him and his girlfriend at the time used to about live at that casino, and they used to sell all their points to get gold. And he actually is pretty close to his own weight in gold now because he's got so much gold from the Mohegan Sun casino. Because he would buy, like, degenerate gamblers, he got to know some of them. He would buy their points so he could get more gold on a discount. So he was working the system pretty well there.
And the thing with him is he still has everything. He's not buying it. And with gold now, I guess it's like 3,000. I think it's like $3,000.
He's got a nice house on Red Rock Country Club to go with it. Yeah.
Unbelievable. One of the sharpest guys in the world. We've talked about him before on the show. I sent you a slot influencer. I just found this channel like 2 days ago. I was really surprised that this guy's an AP. He's on. I have no problem mentioning him. Let me just look for my sent emails. I sent you the email. like I said, I have zero problem. Okay, a day in the life. I'm going to mention his name right now. I'll mention his handle. His handle is J Fructose, Fructose, J Fructose, and I was really surprised at all the stuff. He gave away a lot of good information, and then I went back and looked at some of his videos. Pretty cool. He's got some pretty cool things on his videos of what he does, and he's been threatened. He's actually been threatened in the casino a couple times for giving away
Threatened by
a little
who?
bit. Oh, because John, he's giving away all the bonus machines, all the advantage plays,
Oh, so
and
that the community doesn't like that. The AP community.
yeah, they I try to be real careful when I talk about something like that. I don't try to give away the house, and I don't want to give away their earns. But what people don't realize, I only had to watch one video. Nice guy, seems like a great guy. As far as helping people, and he's tipping people. That's what I go by a lot. I don't like a couple things he did. One, he was smoking pot in his car, and he got so high, he was like, "I gotta just stop, man. Yo, I gotta. I'm so high, I gotta pull up." I mean, that's like drinking and driving to me. How high he was
Right.
anyway. I didn't like that. He bets random sports, $100 a game. Doesn't search lines, so he's not an advantage sports player, that's for sure. And he tries to create plays. I noticed, which Randy will agree with me. There isn't a creating a play. It's either a play that's over 100% or it's not a play. You don't try to build up a bonus to make it a play. When you're building it up, that's giving all your advantage back. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm just going to try to build it up. And let me go down to $170. Let me go down to $160. I'll go down." And then next thing you know, he cashed out 145. So I just realized that he is an advantage gambler. But Randy, like a lot of those advantage gamblers, they'll give the money back doing something else. You see them in the
Yeah.
casino, they're playing advantage stuff, but yet they give the money back somewhere else, especially if you're high or underneath, drinking or anything. That's why I think a lot of these casinos shouldn't start. They're banning people now from playing. I know someone. Oh, do I even say this? I know someone that was just banned from gambling at the Seminole casinos in Florida just from playing advantage machines. So I'm not going to say much more, but these in Vegas does it too. Randy, are you familiar with people that are casinos that have backed people off being advantage gamblers?
Yeah, there's a few of them that have gotten a little stickler. Of course, we talked about the MGM playing advantage machines, taking away people's offers, and also, a couple of the other ones, Westgate and El Cortez were a couple that I've heard people have trouble with. They're not really doing anything wrong. They're just checking the machine, seeing
Yeah.
if something on it.
Well, we
I
know
don't,
firsthand. I know that.
I don't
I
think
know
it's
that from.
anything that shouldn't be removed from a casino or even especially banned. If they want a no offer, they can always do that. That's probably the best way to do it. But yeah, I'm totally against all that. And especially these guys, you'll see these influencers. Yeah, sure. They're showing, decent games at a certain point. And then like to Bill's point, then later you'll see him playing a straight up Pompeii machine, afterwards, losing all the money that they could have earned on something like that.
Well, that's exactly what I said. I said,
Mm-hmm.
here's a guy that I'm watching. He's showing his videos and but I like the way he buzzed around the casino stuff. I like the way, and Randy, he showed me at least five new machines that I've never seen before. And he's looking for advantage plays. But you see what happened? He created plays, trying to create plays, which means he's going to give a little bit back. But he's going to win overall, though. I can just tell by him the way he was playing that he is going to win overall. Guys, let's talk about our sponsor here, heritagesports.eu. Heritage been in business 30 years, 50% Bitcoin bonus, Bitcoin insurance. Baseball's back, as we talked before, 10-cent lines, which I'm embarrassed to say. I do not have a 10-cent shop in Las Vegas. That's just ridiculous. What 10 cents means is lay $1.30 on one side, Yankees, take back $1.20 on Boston. So it's a 10-cent line. No places like that in Vegas. They have that there at heritagesports.eu. Been around a long time. And they give you 8% back on a monthly bonus for certain players on certain plays on the game on the site. I like the 100% free play sign up bonus too. I'm like, I just don't understand how to even do that. Reduced juice, cash back, other perks, 100% free play sign up bonus going on right now. heritagesports.eu. Been around a long time. 10-cent lines. Can't wait for football. They're 108 juice also. Okay, guys, let's go back. And I want to talk about something about, I put a tweet up about check cashing. I was down in Biloxi and I seen these machines that cash your check. You could cash your paycheck. Usually, I understand the casinos, I shouldn't say usually, some of the local ones, the stations, they had like bonuses. You cash your paycheck on Friday. They give you a couple of free drink tickets, or
spin the wheel,
a chance
right?
to spin the wheel, spin the wheel for a chance to double your paycheck or whatever. But there's like only one little peg that's double your paycheck, and the other ones are this big. But still, it's a chance. You get a little something, and the purpose of it though is to get the gamblers to come in, and of course they want them in there gambling their paycheck away. That's not picking on stations. That's all the casinos that offer this. Well, I noticed it was like right in your face in the casinos I was at, 3 machines that asked to cash your checks. And I said, wow, they don't even give you anything. I said, that's awful. They just want to. Now, I will
Bill,
tell
they're
you.
not doubling 4 of a kinds, are they?
Yeah. You see what I mean? Like you're saying, like double and 4 of a kind. There was no kind of promotion. Well, this video got this tweet got 171,000 views. And I said, let me read the responses to all these people. A lot of responses. There was some pushback. People were saying, no, that's a convenience. That's a convenience. Listen, if anyone knows the human condition, it's me. I know what it is to be in the casino with a paycheck, 30 years ago before I was an advantage gambler. This is not a convenience. This is to try to separate you from your paycheck. I don't want to hear any bullshit. That's what it is. And all the casinos kind of do it. But I was surprised to see some pushback on these things and people saying, oh, you're talking negative about. No, I'm not talking negative. I just talked everything, good and bad, about casinos. I don't like that portion of the business when they're cashing people's paychecks, especially that group of people, hard-earned, hard-working people every week. Let them put their check in their bank. Let them cash it and bring a portion to. Granted, if they want to use the ATM and get robbed on that, it's much different when you're touching cash money than touching your credit card and paying $10 to get $100.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. What do you guys think?
You know what? Well, I think what's crazy is if you go to an ATM machine in the casino, there's a limit, right? Yes, you can get a cash advance and pay more money or whatever, but your bank will basically cuts you off, right? At least it puts a little stopper in place. So that if you do want to do the cash advance, it's going to take a minute. You got to do it, go through it again, say yes to the extra fee. It kind of, that stuff is built in to try to discourage you, right? There's not, but you can just give your check over at the counter is kind of crazy.
Randy, what do you think?
A smart competitive casino would see their neighbor doing that and do the same thing, but enhance them to, give them a couple free drinks or something, or you don't have to go crazy. Like I said, give them a double 4 of a kinds. Like I used to cash my paychecks, and you asked how did I get a paycheck? Well, I went to a pawn shop to get paychecks back in the day. And so I was playing at 2 different casinos and getting double 4 of a kinds. So it worked out pretty well. So, but as far as I see it, yeah, let's leave check cashing to the bank. I think it would be better for all heads.
Yeah. Hey guys, I want to give a shout out to one of my Twitter followers, and I've never met him, but Don, boy, I hope I say this right, Plochaki, Don Plochaki Jr. Don recently asked me a question on Twitter, and I actually DM'd him, and we talked back and forth for a while. and he just sent me a text. He sent me a DM. My wife's cancer recently came back. She's having surgery on Good Friday. Can you use some prayers from the Crack Wins team and the Wager Talk guys and our guys here at Wise Kracks. So shout out to him and her. She's okay. We're all praying for you. That's the way. I don't like to leave no stone unturned there when it comes to someone asking me something like that. Hey, someone else DM me. I am not at liberty to say the name right now. A big name in the industry. Randy's a big fan of his, by the way. I'll tell you after the show. So he sent me a text saying, "Hey, Crack, can you call me?" He said, "Do you have the video and tweet of how people break into rooms without a key? I had a friend that was robbed last weekend, and in his room. So
in Vegas.
Yeah, yep. So it made me think of when I was robbed in a hotel room, and it was professionals. Well, professionals. Actually, it was a hooker. To be honest with you. So they had the soft closed doors, which they don't have. By the way, no cameras in the hallways. Soft closed doors. Very upscale hotel. I think I told you guys the whole story before, and they push the doors. They test all the doors to see if they closed well, and the door didn't close all the way. And this person knew what they were doing. They knew to test all the doors. Sure enough, they slowly came into the. I was in the suite. Slowly came into the room, and don't you know they took my voucher, my wallet. I'm sorry, they left the wallet. They took my voucher and my cash. Left my wallet, but I was smarter than them because I combined my tickets at the end of the night. I took a marker for 10,000, and I combined my tickets, and so the voucher was 11,000 and change. And by me combining them tickets, that's how they caught her. They actually caught her because she tried to cash the ticket. Now I'm not going to tell you it's a lot easier to cash that ticket than you think. But she just had to go to a machine and play or something. But anyway, just a typical move. They caught her, and I went back and forth to court with them. I showed up at court every time to get this girl put away for what she did. But just to think how dangerous rooms are, that's what they told me anyway. They told me that she opened the door. Well, I think about these situations more in the tweet that I put up last year. I'll tell you what. I wouldn't doubt she had a little bit of a way to break into the rooms because I'm pretty good at latching the door and making sure that when I go to bed at night, I don't drink, I don't do anything, I'm not partying. But it's some scary things that goes on in these hotel rooms sometimes. There's videos on YouTube of how to break into any safe. You can just Google it. Or just YouTube it. Go on YouTube, put a search in casino. It's amazing how easy it is to get in a hotel room safe.
Yeah.
So listen. And if you're a high roller and you come in and a limo driver takes you in, so now you got a limo driver. You got it's just like the movie Casino when Joe Pesci character, they had little spotters and stuff. I know. You think it's only in the movies? No, absolutely not. When Frank Collada was the advisor on that show, that was the real deal. And guess what? We're still in a gambling town. I know it's 50 years later. Stuff still goes on. Just the casinos try to sweep it under the rug. Don't want to talk about anything. By the way, the casino did right by me. When I lost that money and that voucher, they gave me back the voucher price because, of course, it was right out of, I told them the machine I came to. But how about this? I don't know if it was I had like $4,000 or $5,000. He said, "How much money do you have?" I said, I think it was like 4,500. Walked me to the cage, and they gave me the money right out of the cage. Just sign something. I mean, so they did right, but they didn't want that getting out there. That's why I'm not going to throw them under a bus. I'm hoping that same thing happens with this guy. I think it was a much bigger robbery, much bigger. I don't know if it's going to make the news or not, but it just happened. Just got the DM. So these things happen. You got to keep your head on a swivel in Las Vegas.
Like the dollar amount.
No. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but I know there's more involved though. That it's going to be a big number because I know the particular suites it was in. I'm just not at liberty to mention anything right now. It's a very very big property on the Strip. But yeah, Randy, sometimes we take for granted, being gambling and not realizing and people knowing us from shows or whatever it may be. It's why I'll be blunt. It's why John and I carry. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you,
Yeah.
but Randy, even yourself. I mean, you're in hotel rooms like myself. You just got to keep your head on a swivel. They robbed Doyle Brunson. They followed him home into this guard gated community and robbed Doyle Brunson. I mean, back in the day. So I'm sure
I've
you
heard
guys
of
agree,
all
though.
kinds of robbery stories, and I'm a little paranoid of it too. The biggest one I ever heard was these guys used to play these Keno jackpots in Florida, in southern Florida, and there was these Haitian teams, and if you snapped them off on one of those Keno jackpots, they did not like that. And I know one guy that got robbed by the Haitians because he snapped them off for
Wow.
a six-figure amount.
Now you say teams, Randy. What do you mean? It was an advantage play. Keno was an advantage.
Yeah, so back then these Keno machines, they're called lottery Keno machines, and they would get
Right.
where they're way over a positive, but they're real hard to hit, but you're spending a lot of money to try to hit these things, you're losing a lot of money, but they would get up to 5-10% edges at times. So
Gotcha.
we're playing them real hard. I didn't go down and play. A friend of mine, our mutual friend, he went and played a couple of them, but once he heard of them Haitian guys, he got a little scared of them too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he did. I just turned the video off for a second, guys, because I'm hearing someone at the door, but I'm good now. But anyway, no. I didn't know if some of those things get like. I never heard of really advantage Keno, but I guess there could be. I shouldn't say no, but I shouldn't say I didn't hear that because there's certain progressive meters that if they hit a certain number, we all know the math of what the Keno should be. The payouts of four of 20 or 5 of 5, whatever it may be. You pick,
Well, there's
so
casinos back in the day that used to double 4 spots, double 5 spots anytime they're
there you
doing
go.
that. It's a nice.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of money playing Keno in my life. People will probably laugh about it, but boring game, but high
wild.
hopes. But make sure you have double jackpots.
Yeah.
Let's talk about advantage baseball real quick.
You want to talk about that? Your Dodgers?
Yeah.
They've been doing
well, I wanted to just say that maybe that Dodgers minus 1.5 every day might I'm using the word might not be the best strategy. Potentially, you guys might be right, is what I'm saying. That strategy maybe blindly every day, not good. But I think I'm still onto something. I just can't seem to.
We should have
Go
a
ahead,
meter
Bill.
every time
Yeah.
we come on the show. If it's up how many units or down how many units for the Dodgers.
Yeah, that would be good actually.
Since our last show 2 weeks
It's
ago,
been bad. It's been really bad.
I was gonna surprise everybody. Laying a run and a half, the Dodgers are 2-10. I think it is 2-9.
Yeah,
I think you're 2-10.
All right, well,
so
you don't have to be nasty.
No, I'm not nasty. I'm just saying.
No, I know it's been ugly. It's been so ugly.
The listeners and viewers know what to do, though. I mean, come on. Hey, Robert, what do we got for this week for WagerWire?
Yeah,
we're gonna go back to talk about a bet. Go ahead, same one, right?
Yeah, Cade Cunningham is the last leg on this 3-leg parlay that started with Travis Hunter to win the Heisman, and then Jaden Daniels as the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
My God.
When we last talked about this one, guys, Cade was the favorite. That is no longer the case. He's plus 350, so big change there. However, part of the ticket had been sold, so he sold 50% already. So,
well, for $40K.
Yeah.
Wow. So this $100 to win $324,000. Cade was the favorite then at that point, not the favorite anymore. I think the person that sold this made a really good sell. Obviously, a good sale. 50% for $40,000. And listen, there's been some controversy in the world here. I don't like to throw anyone under the bus, but there was another. I'm not going to say competing site, but another site recently. Had some big controversy in this field, Randy and I talked about it off air, but I'm not in the business to throw anyone under the bus. So to have a sponsor like WagerWire and to see these offers every week and to see this company that's, I know some guys that have put their money behind it, some big names in the sportsbook industry have put their money behind WagerWire, and we appreciate them as a sponsor. And I'll tell you, looking at this particular thing now, I say it again, $100. If your average bet, let's say your average bet's $1,000, all right, and you're gonna sprinkle $100 on this 3-leg parlay here, you got to say to yourself, my average bet's $1,000, and that's not the average bet in this country is under 100, but it's 40x, on one thing here as a future. I think this was a real good buyout. Looking at it now, it's pretty easy to say. Randy, do you ever even hear of these? When the sports books want to cash out, you have made probably none of these type of bets though, but you would never hear. Well, I shouldn't say that. You'll hear of people doing it, but you've never used the cash out feature at any of the DraftKings, FanDuels, and MGM. You never used the cash out feature, correct?
Actually, I caught a mistake on one of the sports books where I realized the cash out feature was giving you a little too much. And this was at the beginning of legalization. So I was utilizing the cash out feature back then to my advantage. My team was actually behind in a couple games and they gave me plus money.
I should know better to ask Randy.
So
constantly looking to steal. Yeah.
So I've done a few cash outs in my lifetime. Yes.
Crack, I got a question for you. If I get information that is going to dramatically change how I feel about my bet, should I take the cash out? If I can beat the book on the information?
Oh, of course. That 100%. And the books will get mad at you sometimes. I've had some situations where I bet some large amounts of money based on information. It's not my fault that I get the information before you guys do. That's the reason why I'm not allowed to bet at stations on the app. It's the reason why I'm not allowed to bet at certain sports books back east on their apps. They're taking bets at the counter. I beat them on information. So it's not my fault that my guys are better than your guys. Absolutely, Robert. You should cash out based on the information if it's favorable for you to cash out. So we appreciate the guys at WagerWire. Appreciate you, Robert, for bringing that up. And that's some interesting stuff here, guys. We're gonna have a shorter show this week, and I apologize. The throat is going on me here a little bit. And however, speaking of this, I'm gonna put a tweet up this weekend. I'm gonna save it for this weekend. Man, I got a bonus. Well, you know what? I can talk about it on the show. The hell with it. I want to read this. I hate to read it to you. Jesus. I got some more juice here. Some more lemon juice. Okay. I found this in my archives. By the way, someone here. Oh my God, you both know about this. All right. This was back in the beginning. I'm going to read it to you. Hey, week 8 of the NFL is in the books, and I am thankful. The fever dream of the Giants. I'll just get that. I am emailing you to inform you of my new referral program. I think I have it set up with a win-win for everybody. New signups, any player who has not wagered more than $5,000 across all of our platforms, the referral bonus, both you and the new player will receive a deposit bonus of 25%. With a maximum of $12,500 bonus. So a $50,000 bonus, they gave me $12,500. And by the way, they gave Randy $12,500 for the first deposit made on the new minimum deposit was $5,000. Randy, we did very well with this promotion. That's all I'll say. You can't give guys that win already 25%, took a 12,500. This is what I did, Randy. I deposit money, 50,000, and I actually bet it all on futures. Good advantage, which I actually ran stupid on. And then I call the host and I said, listen, I used that money. Anyway, we could do something else. He goes, well, yeah, if you deposit 50 more, I'll give you 12,500 more. The next day.
No way.
Yeah.
I got 25,000. And by the way, then I referred Randy and Randy got 12,500. I was just, and I got 12,500 more in my account. Now, listen, I paid tax on almost six figures that year just from that one sports book. So they were real good to me. I paid tax on like 90 grand just from that one sports book. But hey, I'm happy to pay tax when they're giving me $90,000. I was literally borrowing, and stealing from anybody. I remember I ran down and grabbed 100,000 off a buddy of mine. I said, "Listen, do you have any cash? Because they're giving me this deal if I come back tomorrow with this deal." I'm just so sick. Oh man! But I'm going to tweet that out this weekend, and they're probably going to get mad at me a little bit. The sports book that offered me that bonus, but it was a good time. By the way, Mr. Orlando, you probably don't realize it. You came out there for that bonus too.
I remember. No, I know. I know. I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Randy did it where he was from. You flew out to the East Coast on that same bonus. Oh boy, the bonus days.
I had to make a pit stop and pick an envelope up for you.
It was. Oh yeah. No, I remember that. I remember that. We had that money. Oh boy.
On the runner.
The good old days. The good old days.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you next week on Wise Kracks. Thank you.